This is Sun Basin Properties. Sun Basin Properties here at the Othello address, Sun Basin Properties, and Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker. This COVID-19 policy regulation and services. We have this increments to the Society Administration Office, which has these wiring. Let's get a good zoom on this. On this wiring has this download URL. Andy Miller at Sealbet Watch from Mr. Andy Miller, West State Prosecutor's Office, 519-735-3591. We got our window broken out, Mr. McKenna Law Firm, and also the units got broken into. Mr. Eric Olson's on video. He said, yeah, they erased your information and the email address is not good enough in services. So we got Microsoft components and also the service of Eric D. Olson, designated broker at the Office Max Center in Kenneth, Washington Canal. We got all this video inside Office Max, and also Mr. McKenna, and Mr. Andy Miller. Andy Miller's prosecutor's office, and also Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker, and also Ryan Luxton from the prosecutor's office. He's in City Hall in Othello. We got all the video, birth certificate, ownership and services, insurance, policy, Mr. the Washington State Collision Report from Kennewick, and also Dispatch Center following the increments to the Society Administration Office carrying the COVID-19 policy regulation as Mr. Katie Randall Burney from Washington State Patrol Office in Laguna in Kennewick, Washington, Dispatch City Hall in Kennewick, Richland, and also the services they have in the police station and City Hall and the police station on video. Trios and also the CBH Center and CBH Center dispatch into Mr. Hanneman Prosecutor's Office. And the record recollection reports that carries the COVID-19 policy regulation services. Now, Mr. Eric D. Olson is designated broker and carries the designated inches, yards, the bucket, the backhoe, the garbage can that has to make a path for the Sun Basin Properties at 519-485-61 and the 610 address at Administration Office, the COVID-19 Policy Regulation, Mr. Eric D. Olson. Now, Mr. Eric D. Olson has his preliminary services of COVID-19 Policy Regulation Services applying administration, Mr. Andy Miller, Mr. Norma Rodriguez, and also Ryan Ludskin from the Administration Office, the COVID-19 Policy Regulation. They broke the window out on video. And now Mr. Ryan Ludskin carries this COVID-19 Policy Regulation and Services at the Administration Office and carrying the Administration Office to its COVID-19 Policy Regulation and Services to its most professional level of COVID-19, Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. Biden, and Mr. Hillary Clinton, and Mr. Obama, and Mr. George Bush. Now, the services they apply for the COVID-19 policy regulations services, you're going to have a guns permit, a concealed gun permit, an automatic weapon, OSHA ordinance safety classes that are ordained in your duration of your 24/7 days a week, on procedure, and also Mr. COVID policy regulations, Social Security Office, the Sheriff's Office in Ephrata, Grant County, Sheriff's Office in Benton County Justice Department, and also the service of implementing abstract every month on your driver's record, which has no driver record. so you can keep your concealed gun permit and also your automatics permit, because your United States Army base has this executive order carrying accurate file and incomes to the Society Administration Office, because we have an international airport here in Moses Lake. We have an airport here in Pasco, Washington. We got Fairchild's Air Force Base. We got many increments of the OSHA ordinance applying to COVID-19. In the prosecutor's office, Mr. Anna Miller, we have this video, and we have Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Olson said they erased all information on the properties in the states and services. You know, information that they erased and partake, because they like robbing Felix Barela. Now, Mr. McKinnon's a witness, because they came here and robbed Mr. McKinnon. Mr. Eric E. Olson is on video, of course, because they're breaking into the units and their services. And you have to have video, Mr. Andy Mayor, Washington Prosecutor's Office, COVID-19. And also the video of Mr. George Bush Administration Office, Obama Administration Office, and also Hillary Administration Office, and also Biden Administration, and Mr. Trump Administration Office. Now, this executive order, the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services they have, we're going to submit all this information. We have this accurate information to the T. And Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker. That's Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker. Eric D. Olson, 610 South Avenue, Othello, Washington. Business number 509-480-5651. Cell phone number 989-0838. Mr. Eric D. Olson, designated broker. Now all this camera action, you know, they have this accurate information and services, which is conspicuous to its T. Now you see this administration office's COVID-19 policy regulations. You call the sheriff's office, you call the Sunny Farms Administration Office, Mr. McKinnon. And Mr. McKinnon is involved in his local grown fresh farms, fruit and vegetables. Wednesdays, Saturdays, 9 to 6, Sunday 1 to 6, closed Monday, Tuesday. This Facebook and URL, Sunny Farms. Now, Sunny Farms carry this COVID-19 policy regulation. That's the Schmidt family. 488-2158. FAT, and that's phone number and cell 750-6821. Mr. Eric E. Olson, Disney Brahim, he's a witness in testimony being attacked on sidewalk in George Wash House. And number 42, Brooks Athletic Club, Schultz Tower, Wallace. And Mr. Mike. And Mike is Celtic, is Grant County, is Brooks Athletic Club. Brooks shoes, all this armor, all this equipment, the George Washington House, the first president of the United States of America, Mr. McKinnon. Of course, Mr. McKinnon got to all incomes of society, how to broke the window, get into the window, come in and steal all the items, properties, credit cards, transactions, Apple credit card, the Giza credit card, the checkbooks, the assessors of the services. Mr. Eric Olson's recorded. Yeah, they broke in, administration off the COVID-19 policy regularly. They broke in lock and key. They cut the lock off, came in, took everything inside. They had a vacuum on them. They did the whole 9 yards. They're going to take here and make things meet and take a granite headstone and go to the memorial services and also the services at the, of course, the 304 South Balsam, and their services having Mr. Live Contributors. And we got him recorded, Mr. Live Contributing. Mr. Jim Durding, manager, 519-7363, that 314 West Kenneth Avenue, Kenneth High School, South Dayton. And Denise, we have her on URL at the Freenier Home, and that's 509-547-3316. And that's Denise, 360-224-2510. Mueller's Freenier Home, the service of COVID-19. We had a crematorium, the Mueller's Freenier Home, the local Rhonda Kaiser from Freenier Home, because Mueller's Tri-City Funeral Home and 1401 South Unit, and Green Lane Funeral Home, 1680 West Court Street, Pasco, 547-3316. And also Tri-City Funeral Home at 519-783-9532. And Desert Lawn Memorial, 1401 South Union, 783-3181. And Rivers Heights Cemetery, 1200 South Olympia, Washington, 509-586-2689. Now, Jim Dirty, we got him recording URL. Jay Mueller's immediate brother and administration office, and Mr. McKinnon, being a material witness of all this criteria and services administration office, having information breaking in, stealing the guns and stealing all these weapons and stealing all this money and cash and currency and the vault and sofa and backing up in the entranceway. And then the McKinnon Law Firm administration, just like over at Sackman Law Firm. Oh, it's just like Schultheis, Wallace, and also George Washington House and Brooks Athletic Club at the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services. Now, Teresa A. Salo, Administrative Assistant at the Appeals Office at 812 West Clement, and that's American Titles, and that's Olson Homes Properties at the Administration Office, and that's Teresa A. Salo. And also Lisa Linger, Human Resources, and also Tammy Default, Human Resources, 712 Okanine Place, and Mary Christian at Risk Management at 509-222-2323. That's Mary Christine at Benton County Justice Department. And also we have Caroline Ainsworth from the Administration Office at Human Resources, 712 Okanagan, and Lexi Winfield at Human Resources. And also CIMARON5, Ajmer Singh Nijjar, CIMARON5, UBI number 602-720-979. Ownership and Service, Sunset Acres, Sunny Farms, Administration Office, McKenna Law Firm, Sacrament, so it's Talbot Wallace. And of course, the Schwab Attorney's Office. We got the recorded information, which gave the recorded information on the Facebook and Sway. And also the Administration Office on YouTube. And the Sun Basin Properties carried this executive Schultheis Talbot Wallace at 56 C Street. Bar Association 3350, and that's Kenneth W. Chadwick, 56 C Street, 509-754-5264, 509-754-583. That's Wawa. That's WWalklawFirm.com. Now, Stephanie Ashley, I had a conversation with her because we're at Annie Miller's office, administration office, and also the service they have for the president's primary election, Mr. Obama, and also, of course, George Bush administration on the service, and also the City Hall administration, recording all those officers attacking me in the hallway in the service and incomes to society with their threats inside the police station and City Hall because we had a collision report filled out at City Hall and collision report in Richland, Ryan Ludskin and Norma Rodriguez. And also the federal courtroom, Mrs. Patty Mary's Catwell for the primary presidential election for endorsements. The services that recording information say they erased everything, Mr. Eric D. Olson, reciting the services, implying the racing information, also the video and services. And you have conspicuous individuals walking in the area, and this, which was yesterday and today. Now, the services we have recorded information and services and the Teresa Salem Lead Assistant, 812 West Clement Court, Building 6, Suite A, Kennewick, Washington, 99336, 519-734-7285. Beautiful man, Mr. McKenna Law Firm. Look at that, Mr. Beautiful. Mr. Andy Miller, Washington State Prosecutor. Look at beautiful man. And Mr. Ajmer Singh Nijjar, CIMARON5INC, BI number 60. That's Teresa. And that's Teresa. Say Salo, Administrative Appeals Office, Administration Office, and COVID-19 Policy, Regulations, and Services. And also the Stephanie Ashland for News Director at 519-737-665, and that's 33 West Kennewick Avenue. The birth certificate, the endorsement and services, and also Avok's mother being in a funeral director services and caskets and urns, and Mr. Andy Miller, prosecutor, for laying down sod on South Lawn at the Mueller's funeral on South Lawn. Now, Mueller's administration, United States Air Force, FBI, CIA, Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, have a janitor service in Clearwater in Kennewick, Washington. And Mr. Eric Olson said they erased all the information, so we recorded this information inside his conversation all the way into his area, and the areas and the services where they break in and fraudulently sign and steal HAPO checkbooks, U.S. Bank checkbooks, Chase checkbooks, Bank of America checkbooks, Key Bank checkbooks, and all these services they imply in the COVID-19 and getting access to people's accounts. And then we go to the Secretary's office and go to Social Security office and give them the statements and service and make a point with Giza. Come to find out, they like robbing and taking stuff and calling 911. Go to Ryan Lutzkin office, City Hall in Kennewick, and also the rear-ended by Mr. Justin. He's on video, and Mr. Ryan, Karen. There's Ryan. I'm sorry. Ryan Lutzkin, Justin, Dan, Fernando, Richard, Karen, Wally, Neil, and Elisa. Now, they're all recorded on all the highways that's being remodeled here from Moses Lake, all international port in Moses Lake, all the way to Ephrata, George Washington House, and City Hall, and also the courthouse, the prosecutor's office, Andy Miller's office, his house, his office, his administration office, recorded information in City Hall, inside the City Hall, inside the upstairs, in Benton County, in Grant County, and also the Pasco Regulation Service, and Norma Rodriguez is endorsed and improving her law administration as a judge now. Now her practices and service be fortified and accurate to the T. Now, he recorded all this information, the URLs, the phone numbers, contacts, fax numbers. And they erased all that information, and office rep at Office Max carrying this exceptional order in this COVID-19 policy of regulation service to its successors, bringing a exceptional recovery accuracy and information that's prudent to the case. Mr. Andy Miller is in a murder case, and I'm walking to Freedom Home, and no figure, you run over Felix on the sidewalk, attack Felix on the sidewalk, had money, services, recorded information. We're at the climate Cincinnati. We're so screwed up. Real video, name is Mr. Andy Miller. Andy Miller's in Grant County Courthouse. We got all this information. They say you erase everything. See, Mr. Eric D. Olson, we got personal information, increments of society administration, the business cards administration portfolio, and the services that they have. And they bring all this testimony and services to the society and make things up. Pull up in McKennan's office and make things up. After the fact, the police officer comes in there and steals Felix Barela's phone, steals my phone, breaks my laptop, attacks me on the sidewalk, and then goes to McKenna and goes to Sackman Law Firm, does the same thing, and calls State Patrol Office. Katie Randall Bernie. Mr. Eric Olson has areas all over the area. He's a very busy man. Eric Olson, designated broker, does measurements, stucco, rebar, concrete, pouring, and paving, and excavation, D69, bulldozer, earth mover. And Felix Barela, partaking and giving me information, because I'm with Andy Miller. He wants a brand new courthouse. He wants a brand new area that needs to be downloaded and submitted on this whole area of locations and services that hydraulic oil and John Deere Evergreen equipment and D9, D6, United States Army, Kim Wayman, Steve Obbs from SOS WAG Gov Courts, and their certification service of real certifications and business license and increments of society. No, taking all this increment information to society, and you have these cameras and these increments of society, these individuals coming and pulling up, starting confrontations. But you know what? You got a dispatch, you got landlines, you got fax machines here in Eric Olson's office, in Andy Miller's office, and Office Max, he carries the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services, and all this cameras. There's camera wiring and disputes of how they do confrontations and territorial disputes, and they're carrying the COVID-19 policy regulations. It comes to full automatic gunfire and small arm fire, some skirmishes. Mr. McKinnon is very familiar with, and Mr. McKinnon is a very popular man. And we got the cameras and their services and the wiring, as you can tell, and the splicing and the intimidation brings these individuals and parking the rig here, come in here, a couple storage units over, thinking they're going to get away with whatever they're going to do in this society. Eric D. Olson's property, because Mr. Eric Olson or Mr. McKinnon or Mr. Sackman. We got sealed documents, Mr. Kenneth W. Chadwick, Mr. Andy Miller, Mr. Senator McCain, Senator of Arizona, Mr. Obama, Mr. George Bush, the senior. You know, you got these criminals, convicts, assessors. You dress them up in a uniform and you give them a little badge and car vehicle, and they are pretty much a premeditated individual with their camera and cameras, because they don't have any kind of support, back support in the community or inside the federal buildings, like the Kennedy building at 825 Jadwin, Richland, Washington, Ryan Ludskin and Mrs. Norma Rodriguez and Mrs. Andy Miller, Mrs. U.S. Marshal Taylor, and Mr. Marshal Taylor, and Little Taylor. You know, this is 4856 610, huh? This wiring and splicing, you notice they don't put the wiring and splicing on the outside of this barrier because they want to work inside and out. Apparently they're struggling to take somebody and incarcerate and attack them on the sidewalk and brutality, steal their money and checkbooks and services and complete their accounts and put their name on it, say that it was their money. But you show up at the Social Security office and there's a video. You show up to the prosecutor's office. Yeah, video. Huh? Call this utilities appropriate natural gas propane cascade propane administration office. And, you know, you got video cameras. Their video cameras and breaking into, you know, how they broke into your steel lock and cut the lock and insinuate a riot and have you guys individuals fabricating, make things up. Go in the courtrooms and call the police, call the state troopers, and you go, who over here? Lo and behold, you got video. And you call Patty Murray and Catwall and the Senator office, you send them sealed documentation. You got some kind of police officer, you don't have ownership. When you have a house in Kennewick, when you have a house in Richland, you got business UBI number and you got verifications of appointments and services for appealing. And if I don't got video, what's the point of? If you don't got video, they'll have video and they'll make things up and break into your chem law firm, steal your money, steal your cash, steal your currency, steal your guns, your checkbooks, steal your statements, your sealed documentation, your birth certificate, your ID, driver's license. They try to take all your information because somebody's so close to you as a cop, somebody so close to you as a state trooper, somebody close to you that knows who you are, where you go, what you own, what you have, and steal from you. And then where your items are at, and you know who did it. And you got video. I'm Mr. Eric Olson. Baseline conversation, United States Army Base, International Larson Air Force Base, with still documentation. Talk to him in person. Like erasing information. They erased everything. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I got, we have a little, I gotta tell you something, this conversation you have on, on a phone in Andy Miller's office, prosecutor's office. These individuals come here like stealing stuff and put it in their own area and put a label on it and make things up. But, somebody don't think they're going to defend themselves with a full automatic weapon or a handgun or any of those sorts of options. They come here and chase you off thinking that to the society, taking you down onto the sidewalk in front of 7,000 people think they're going to suffer the consequences with all the broken bones and missing eyeball and calling the state troopers after all this ordeal situation with the video of how they throwing a brick through the window and stealing all these diamonds. Mrs. Ivanka, she's dead. They're going to break in and steal everything that they get their hands onto. You don't got video? Oh, look at this. Vacant. Because you had video. Because of video and the cameras and services and direct deposit EFT transactions.